no battery power. What is up? Welcome to Cutting Up. I am your host Mac, and I want to thank you for checking out this content. We're gonna do a review of a new head shaver. As you can see, I am well within need of that. So we're gonna check out a product from Brio. This is the Raze head shaver. It is a 5-blade head shaver, and we're gonna check this out today and see if this makes the cut and if it is worth your purchase. I usually do with a trimmer, a pre-shave, and then even a fixed blade shave, and then I use this to finish. I am gonna put it through its paces and see what it can do, and we're gonna take it under the beard here against the neck beard and see what it can do there. Quickly just looking at packaging, it's clean, it's neat, it's simple. The box does have some information on it without it looking like overly as seen on TV. So what I kind of like with that is it has that high-end feel to it. The box looks like it's gonna be kind of easy to open up. So another thumbs up for it. It is easy to open with human hands without popping out a knife or something. Let's take a look at the box, the instructions, and then we have the shaver itself. Here is the Raze, and the design of the 5-head is unique. Right away, looking at the color of the blades and the way it looks, there are the little Brio brandings on there. I do like the color, might be subjective, but I am a fan of that like rose gold and copper kind of color. Ergonomically, it fits in the hand well. There is a slight little wobble to it, but we were gonna use it against the scalp and see if there is anything of it feeling frail or if it's just meant to move as you're using it. Here is the charger prongs. There's the button right on the side. Very clearly marked, very easy to find. What I do like is that it seems to be out of the way. Let's just show you everything in the box and go over some features really quick. Not to sound like Brad Pitt in Seven, I know I've just showed my age. Let's see what's in the box. It is pretty cut and dry, pretty meat and potatoes, no frills, no kind of gimmicks. This is just a head shaver. They don't try to make this a multi-tool. Here's the device. I wear between medium and large gloves. As you can see, there is the device in my hand. Feels ergonomic. I do like the fact that the back and the front are two different textures because this is a wet or dry shaver. Here is the charger, and that's it. No frills, no thrills. That's what comes in the box, is the charger and the device itself and the directions, which is simple. I kind of actually like that. They're just going for one thing and hopefully master that one thing rather than promise you a bunch of different heads and a bunch of gimmicks. There's no nose trimmer or none of that other stuff that comes in here. This is strictly for you to use as a head shaver, and obviously I'm going to double it up and use it on the neck as well. So if I had to immediately, before reading any of the features, give it a small critique, one of the critiques I have for this is that this is a USB. Some people will look at this as a positive, but I keep pointing this out. Without you guys giving us the little charger, I understand why they don't, because you know they have different markets that have different plugs from the plugs that we have here in the United States. But without that, I have to get a cube or find something that I can plug these into. There are outlets now that are coming with USBs, but until that becomes the primary thing that you're gonna find everywhere, you're still stuck with a device that you're gonna have to find something that didn't come in a box to be able to charge this. And this is a proprietary charger. We will see with Brio if they use one charger or if from each device has its own. Some of the features of this points to them, obviously. You know I love these things. I give a little bit too much credit sometimes for having these. I love these covers, keeps your blades protected, and I always say if you're good to your tools will be good to you. So let's go over a few features of this thing. A full charge will take about 5 hours, but you can do shorter bursts. So it is a 1-to-1 charge time. So for example, 1 hour of charge will get you 60 minutes of use. Lithium-ion battery, so this is very lightweight. The battery display shows minutes of runtime. Titanium coated blades, so they are good for wet or dry, and they should be smoothing without having any nicks, cuts, or irritation. The 5 rotating heads cover more ground. Ergonomic, very simple design in the hand, not something that's going to be overly cumbersome to grab or get a good grip on. So the charger cord is a decent size. It's just for me, and this is for me. Some other people might find this to be an exceptional thing. Give me the damn power brick. Make it that it can change so you can take this and plug it into something else. But give me the damn power brick. Now there are 2 clips here, or a section that kind of tells you where the head comes apart. This is not a magnet, it's more like a clip system. You can see the 4 clips that fit into the part that will eventually motorize or actuate the blades. And there's 5 of them, including a centerpiece. They all seem to move independent of that. What I do like about that is it's very simple. It looks like it's very easy for you to get in here and clean these out. Clicks back into place pretty solid. Now, safe for you to run the water into this. In the instructions, you will see the water running directly on the blade this way. I don't love that just because you do have this part exposed and they don't have like a little rubber cover. So I would probably run it this way, would be a lot more safe. Or if you were to remove this piece and just clean this separate from here and then kind of just wipe clean this. It is safe to get wet, but just because the prongs are there, this is not something that you would want to submerge. So as far as this, the instructions are clear. They're very simple. There are not an extreme amount of illustrations. When they do the illustrations, they are very clear, but there's not a lot of illustrations. There is a troubleshooting section, as well as tells you the importance of having a 2-year warranty from the manufacturer, which is 2 years is a solid amount of time to be able to know whether or not you like this thing or not. This is going to be the first time I turn it on. So, not the most quiet thing. I'm going to talk purposely over it so you can see the difference. But it is not super loud. This is not something you're going to hear from next door. It does feel to be powerful without moving my hand. I don't feel like my hand is shaking or anything like that. I have to say, turning it on, it does give you a number on here. I love these type of displays. These displays are excellent. They tell you the percentage of the battery right there. So it does actually have different modes with just one button. You can toggle through to 2 different strengths and then off. What I also appreciate is when you toggle up to the stronger ability, it will just kind of briefly flash on there the RPM if that's important to you, but then it will go back to the battery power. I do like the design. Nothing looks to be a waste of space, and it looks like you can get a healthy grip on this whether you're a southpaw like me or if you're right-handed. What I did notice is with the button placement, it doesn't feel like something I'm going to accidentally press because you can really get your hand around that. The toggle might be a deal breaker for other people. All features aside, let's get into how well it works. First, the dry shave. Let's go up a little bit, see if there's a difference in how it cuts. So, first impressions of using it, I have to say, on the dry shave, initially turning it on, I felt the slightest of hair tugs, a little, not nicking, but a little bit of hair tugging, and I thought I was gonna be in for a rough use. It works exceptionally. After maybe it just got introduced, after maybe about the 3rd or 4th cycle around, I felt like it got a very smooth shave. It is a little bit louder, you know, after reviewing a bunch of these things, you start to nitpick a bit. The exact number on here is great, but you do see the decreasing of the numbers kind of quickly. So while I do think it will get through a shave, you might not end up like other ones that I've had in the past where you're only charging this thing twice a year or something like that. It shouldn't be that bad. Could just plug it in right before use, you know, go shower, plug this in, get some numbers on there. The exact numbers will tell you if it's going to turn on and off. I did like the results and how quickly it moved. If I'm nitpicking, this rattling of it is a little flimsy feeling. It doesn't feel like it's going to break on you per se, but it could have been a little bit more sturdy. In the hand is exceptional. This is probably one of the better feeling devices I've felt when it comes to that. Sometimes they go very stylistic on these and they make that a little bit too aggressive and it becomes cumbersome or awkward to kind of grip. I don't have big huge hands. I wear maybe size medium gloves, maybe large if I'm feeling a little egotistical on that day, and it has this little slight little flat area there, more probably to rest it down flat to charge, but the actual ergonomics of it works well in the hand. They could have maybe placed the button somewhere down here. If I'm nitpicking, you don't feel like you're gonna accidentally press this. I moved my hand, I even changed hands at some point, and I don't feel like this is anything like that. This feels like a really exceptional mouse that they sell you for computers. On the back, the different tone from here, the shiny plastic that you get, and the screen is seamless. Unless it's on, you can't really tell where the screen is, and the numbers are very clearly easy to read. So opening it up and getting the hair out, very, very easy, very simple. I'm gonna try it on the other side and see how it works as a wet shave. I am gonna do two different versions of a wet shave, just wetting the area, and then we're gonna do some kind of lather between a shaving cream or something and see how that is. I never shave a dry shave almost, so that slight hair pull that I had at the very beginning, I won't take too much points off, especially because when I kept going, it did smooth out and it felt a very smooth shave to it. How this feels is for something that I didn't do my whole trimmer and then a fixed blade and all of that, it does feel and look very smooth. I mean, if you're rubbing against the grain, you'll feel ever so slightly little micro hairs. You can feel like it's not the smoothest things possible, but I'm not taking any points off for that. For me to go straight dry and be able to get this kind of look is exceptional, because this, while not perfectly smooth like bowling ball feel to it, it has the look. You know, if you only have a few minutes, you can grab this and get in there without committing hours of time to a maintenance. This will do the job in a quick time frame. Let's see how the wet shave works. First, we'll do a little bit of just water on there. Much smoother. The end result is smoother if it is a wet shave. Like I said, it will work wet or dry, but it is smoother even with just the application of some water. I didn't feel any hair tugs in that way, and it actually feels smoother than this side. So I can only imagine this is only going to get better with using some kind of lubricant, whether it's a conditioner or, you know, whether gel, cream, coconut oil, whatever it is that you use for your lubrication. This is just going to enhance the smoothness. This is close to, if not almost exactly how I normally would feel with a fixed blade shave without any of the irritation that you can get or mistakes and worrying about nicking your head with using your traditional fixed blade razors. So to see that just spraying on a little bit of water, just wetting the area, is exceptional. I have to say I am very impressed with that. Still not loving the rattle, but that is pretty much my only nitpick so far. And I guess what they would come back that with is the motion of that, to be able to get the different contours. So while you can do a dry shave, the experience of the wet shave is much better with this. Let's lose some conditioner and see how well this does and finish up. flatten out, but I am pretty much done. I am gonna be critical of the battery here in my final analysis, but let's wash this out and I'll tell you guys what I think. So, final analysis, what do I think of the Raze as a trimmer? I am kind of borderline here. We're gonna see if by the time I'm done going through the positives and negatives, if I can tell you clear cut or not, if this makes the cut. It is gonna be a close one for me. Probably closer than Brio would love to hear, but I'm always gonna keep it honest with you. First, let's go over the positives. The first thing I have to say is the ergonomics on this is exceptional. This is probably one of the best of these head trimmers that I have ever held in my hand. Now, I don't have an extensive history of using hundreds of these things, but I have had my hands on a couple of them, and for me, the comfort on this is perfect. It never felt like it was sliding out of my hands. I never felt like I was going to accidentally press the button on the side. Another thing that is a positive is the screen on there giving you the exact number of where you are. I love that much more than when they put those battery icons on there, or some of them that just don't have anything other than a light. Now, the two modes on here use the same button. In this device, I can kind of understand why you wouldn't want multiple buttons, accidentally pressing one of the buttons and turning it up or down. To toggle through the speeds, because it's only 2 speeds, is not a hassle. Cleaning it was very exceptionally easy to do. Once you took this off, there are some of them that I feel like gunk up really easily. I was using conditioner and I felt like this was exceptionally easy to clean. I didn't have to get a brush out or anything. It was quick to wash out, and with a dry shave, I literally opened it, the hair fell out, and it was ready to go. Now for the cons in this thing, and there are 2 that make this a borderline. Like I said, first thing I'm going to say is I do not love the rattle to that. I do understand how you would want this to be not so rigid and you want it to be able to move in theory, but there just feels like there's a fragility to that feels not cheap, but it feels like it is a little bit more feeble or a little bit more brittle than it should be. I feel like this could have been a little bit more fixed in so you can have a little bit more confidence to really get in there. Another thing, everybody's hair texture is different. My hair is actually kind of soft. When I got to the back area here where my hair was the most thick, I felt like this was struggling a little bit, or it was at its max capacity to try and trim, and I had to go up to the higher speed. I would say the first speed felt like it was maybe struggling. The second speed felt like it could handle it. If the hair was any more thick or any more coarse, I'm not sure if this is going to handle that. If you're looking for a one and done, something that is just going to go from where I was or even thicker than that to a clean shave, you got to take into consideration the thickness of your hair, the coarseness of your hair, because it might struggle with the first speed, and even the second speed it might just barely be getting the job done. The big drawback that I had with this, and it's the main thing on whether or not this is going to make the cut, was how quickly the battery life went down on this. Yes, I didn't charge this, I took it fresh out of the box, but fresh out of the box we were at 90 something. So for me to have run this down to get through a shave, something that I was confident that I would be able to get through maybe a couple of shaves with, I'm not impressed with that at all. Now, maybe their pushback is going to say that even though it said 96 on there, I didn't do the full charge. So we're gonna kind of have to leave the jury out on it. But if 96 is the way that they described it in the book, 96 should have gave me 96 minutes. It did not take me 96 minutes to get all the way around the peanut. So the battery life is to be desired with this. It's really gonna come down to cost. I'm feeling generous, so I'm going to say that with a little bit of side eye, this does make the cut. Not an enthusiastic 2 hands, but take into consideration hair texture and the battery life. This just does barely make the cut and is worth at least checking out for yourself to see what you think of it. Come back, get your experience with the Brio Raze, and let me know what you guys think. Were you feeling as generous as me? I am interested to see anybody that has this, what you think. we are going to be checking out some more products from Brio. If you do want to check this out for yourself or some other things that Brio has to offer, check below. Somewhere down here you will see there will be some links to Brio products that will probably get you a little bit of percentage off to make this a little bit easier to get this home to you. Until the next time we're cutting up, stay sharp, but stay honest, and I'll see you in the next one.